Royal Flying Doctor Service needs no introduction. You probably already know we fly from one end of the country to the other, providing aeromedical assistance to remote and regional communities. What you may not know is that we can't do it without your help. Landing on a remote airstrip can be hazardous. In addition to the condition of the runway, roaming animals can also put the safety of our aircraft and crew in jeopardy. In this short video, we'll show you how you can play a critical role in keeping RFDS crews safe by conducting a thorough airfield inspection prior to our arrival. When an RFDS aircraft has been tasked, our communication centre will give you an estimated time of arrival. Work back from that ETA. Give yourself enough time to do the required checks and be set up and ready to go with at least 10 minutes to spare before we're overhead. If you're doing an inspection at night, you'll need to allow a lot more time, especially if you have to set up lights. Oh, and it might seem obvious, but if the gate to your airfield is locked, don't forget to bring the key. It's easy to forget in the excitement. Look around the airfield for any potential hazards. Are there any obstacles at the end of the runway, like parked cars or equipment? Are there any animals in the vicinity? Animals are one of the biggest risks to aircraft safety. Take a careful look around the whole airfield. If the airfield doesn't have a fence and you see animals nearby, chase them well away. They may wander back again, so keep a watchful eye out just in case. If the airfield is fenced and there are animals inside the boundary, try and herd them out through the gate. If you have trouble removing any animal or obstacle, contact the RFDS Communication Centre to advise them of the issue. Our aircraft can hold overhead if you need more time to resolve the issue. There is no rush. With the airfield clear, it's time to check the runway surface. Before driving onto the runway, check to ensure there are no aircraft in the vicinity. Drive your vehicle down the runway at 75 km per hour. It's important that the runway is smooth and firm for its entire length. If you've had rain recently, check for any soft patches. Drive your vehicle down the runway, make S-turns as you go, as this will help you to see what the surface is like closer to the runway edges. If it feels firm, smooth to you, it will be good for us. If it is rutted and uncomfortable to drive on, then the airfield is unsuitable. Small imperfections in the surface can be tolerated. You're looking for nothing over 2 centimetres deep. If you have any uncertainty about the state of the airfield, please contact the RFDS Communication Centre to talk through the issue. It is safest for aircraft to land into the wind. If your airfield has a windsock, the pilot will use this to see which way the wind is coming from. For this reason, have a look at the windsock and check that it's free from any tangles. If your windsock is damaged, please advise the RFDS Communication Centre before we arrive. If you don't have a windsock, the RFDS will provide guidance on the procedure that will be used. With the airfield inspected and you're happy that it's safe for the arriving aircraft, it's time to move your vehicles well away. All vehicles should be parked at least 30 metres away from the runway, always to the side of the runway, never at the ends. For additional safety, at some airfields, the RFDS will require someone to be on the ground with a UHF radio to confirm the airfield status with the pilot prior to landing. A good handheld radio is fine. You'll be advised by the RFDS if this requirement applies to your airfield. If you're unsure, contact your state's RFDS Communication Centre. In South Australia and the Northern Territory, the UHF channel to use is Channel 13. The channel will be different in other states. Listen out on the radio about 10 minutes prior to the aircraft's arrival. The pilot will call you. Once the aircraft lands, it will taxi clear of the runway if possible. Do not approach the aircraft until the doors open and the crew indicate that it's safe to approach. To transfer the patient from a vehicle to the aircraft, drive your vehicle towards the rear of the aircraft, behind the wing. Never reverse up. Park at least 3 metres away from the aircraft. We need plenty of room to manoeuvre the patient onto our stretch loading equipment. If the RFDS is called out at night, the airfield will need to be lit prior to our arrival. Some airfields have a permanent lighting system in place. The nature of these differ from airfield to airfield. Some are turned on remotely by the pilot in the aircraft, while others are activated by a person on the ground. If your airfield has a lighting system, be sure you know how it works before it's ever needed. If your airfield has a portable lighting system, this will need to be set up and turned on at least 30 minutes before the RFDS aircraft's arrival. Lights need to be placed at 90-metre intervals or thereabouts. The important thing is to ensure that the lights are equally spaced along the length of the runway. This diagram shows the lighting arrangement. 4 lights are placed at both ends of the runway to indicate the runway end. 2 lights on either side, about 4 metres apart. At night, the pilot will not be able to see the windsock. To help them identify the direction of the wind, park your car at least 30 metres away from the runway and face your car into the wind with your headlights on. Parking your car near to the windsock can be a good place to park. You are not trying to illuminate the windsock. Being near the windsock means your vehicle will be in a good position for the pilot to see the direction of your car lights, and you'll need to be well away from the runway. Remember, your car needs to point into the direction that the wind is coming from. With your car parked in the wind will be blowing onto your windscreen. If you open your car door and feel it being grabbed by the wind, you're pointing the wrong way. Finally, turn your vehicle's hazard lights on too. This will signal to the pilot that you've completed your checks and it's safe to land. If the aircraft is departing at night, please leave the runway lights in place and turned on for another 30 minutes and keep the runway clear. While it's highly unlikely, there may be a need for the aircraft to return, either due to a patient issue or an aircraft problem. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We care about your health and safety. Thank you for caring about ours. If you have any questions or would like more information on airfield inspections, please do not hesitate to contact us.